Welcome all of you. This is our 11th lecture in the series of online lectures and we are learning Economics Standard 12th. Welcome to my class. We are learning Economics Standard 12th of Maharashtra Board, HSC Board, and we have completed 2 lessons, that is Introduction to Micro and Macroeconomics as well as Utility Analysis, and currently we are learning lesson number 3A, that is Demand Analysis. Now what we have covered in our last lecture? See, we have covered assumptions of the law of demand while learning law of demand, which were given on page number 21 to 22. Okay. Now, what we are going to learn today? Today again we are going in depth with learning the law of demand and we are learning exceptions to the law of demand. Okay, exceptions. Now, what is meant by exceptions? See, first of all, we will see what is meant by law of demand. Now, see, the law of demand was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principle of Economics, which was published in 1890. The law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded. See, this was the book Principle of Economics, which was written by famous economist Alfred Marshall. And what is that law of demand? See, what we said, that is the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded. What it is functional relationship? See, according to Professor Alfred Marshall, other things remaining constant, higher the price of a commodity, smaller is the quantity demanded, and lower the price of a commodity, larger is the quantity demanded. In other words, other factors remaining constant, if the price of a commodity rises, demand for it falls, and when the price of a commodity falls, demand for the commodity rises. Okay, see, we have already seen it many times. When the price increases, demand decreases. Okay, and when the price decreases, demand increases. This is called as law of demand. Okay, that we have seen in our last 2 lectures. See, with the increase in the price, decrease in the demand, and with the decrease in the price, increase in the demand. And what is the tendency of the slope of the law of demand? See, as price and quantity demanded are inverse to each other, okay, inversely proportional to each other. So with the increase in the price, there is a decrease in the demand, or with the decrease in the price, there is increase in the demand. And if this we plot against the graph, then we get a slope, that is a downward slope from left to right. Okay, this is proved with the law of demand. Now, what we are learning today? See, and how it was symbolically explained, that price and quantity demanded are inversely proportional to each other. That is, demand function d of x is equal to function of price of x. X is the commodity. See, the demand curve is sloping down from left to right. Okay, this demand function also we have seen. Now we are learning exceptions to the law of demand. Okay, see, while learning any concept in economics, it should be learned step by step. That is starting from statement, then definition, then demand schedule, then demand curve, then explanation and assumptions, and now we are came across exceptions to the law of demand. Okay, and these all steps we have completed, and now we have came to the end, that is exceptions to the law of demand. Okay, now while learning anything, any law, what it is thought, some assumptions are thought, that like some variables are considered to be constant, and then only it is understood or it can be established. Okay, now what is meant by exceptions? See, exceptions are the things that there are certain exceptions to the law of demand. It means that under exceptional circumstances, consumer buys more when the price of the commodity rises, and he buys less when the price of the commodity falls. In such cases, demand curve slopes upward from left to right. See, demand curve slopes from upward from left to right. That is, demand curve has a positive slope. See, it is a positive slope from, because it moves to upward direction. Okay, see, numbers are upward here. With the increase in the price, there is increase in the demand. Okay, so it is moving upward from left to right. Then what is meant by the exceptions first? See, exceptions means the reasons where any law gets violated, okay, when any law doesn't stand true, okay, or it falls, then only it is called as exception. Okay, so there are some exceptions also to the law of demand. See, because law of demand was based on some assumptions. Now see, if some factors or some variables doesn't fall under the category of law of demand, then we can say these are the exceptions to the law of demand. And which are those factors which doesn't contribute to the law of demand? See, what is the exceptions to the law of demand? There are certain situations where the law of demand does not apply or becomes ineffective, inapplicable. That is, with a fall in the price, the demand falls, and with the rise in the price, demand rises, are called as exceptions to the law of demand. Why? As per the law of demand, there was a inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. But here, what is the exception where it doesn't stand true? With the increase in the prices, what happens? Increase in the demand. Or with the decrease in the prices, there is a decrease in the demand. Means both the things are parallel or proportionate to each other. Okay, that's why the law of demand, what was the law of demand? The law of demand doesn't stand true. Okay, or it gets violated. Now, which are those exceptions? See, first is Giffen Paradox, then it is prestige goods, then speculations, price illusion, ignorance, and habitual goods. We'll learn one by one. See, what is the first exceptions to the law of demand? Following are the exceptions to the law of demand. First over it is Giffen Paradox. Okay, who is this Giffen? See, Sir Robert Giffen was an economist in England. Okay, so as he has derived to this exception, it is known by his name. It is Giffen Paradox. Okay, Giffen is the name of the economist, that is Sir Robert Giffen from England. And what is meant by paradox? See, paradox means contradictory, contradiction to something. Okay, opposite to something, which is not equal or following some rule. It is called as paradox. See, why it is this concept? This is the concept, and this concept is called as Giffen Paradox. Why? Because Giffen, Sir Robert Giffen developed it or introduced it, this paradox, this contradiction to the law of demand. That's why it is known as Giffen Paradox. What does this Giffen Paradox says? Inferior goods or low quality goods are those goods whose demand does not rise even if their prices falls. At times, demand decreases when the price of such commodities falls. See, even with the inferior goods, even if the price falls, right? Even if the price falls, the demand also falls with the inferior goods. Sir Robert Giffen observed that in England he observed some behavior of some workers. See, why this was developed, why he came to this conclusion. See, he observed some workers in England. Sir Robert Giffen observed this behavior in England in relation to bread with some workers. This is the behavior with regard to some workers. He noted that when the price of bread declined, people did not buy more of it because an increase in their real income or purchasing power. They preferred to buy superior goods like meat. This is known as Giffen Paradox. What we can conclude? See, there were some workers whose behavior Sir Robert Giffen observed. See, this was related to the inferior good. And as per the people in England, bread is supposed to be an inferior good. See, bread is supposed to be an inferior good. And when the price of the bread declined suddenly, people did not buy it more. Actually, they should have bought more as per the law of demand. But though the price of the bread declined, they didn't go for buying it more. Why? They thought that their real income has been increased. What is meant by real income? See, if the price, whatever they were paying for buying the bread, if the price of the bread declined, then their savings will increase, and they thought that their real income will increase. And with the increased real income, they thought of buying some superior goods like meat. See, instead of buying more bread, when the price of the bread has declined, they neglected it. They neglected or ignored buying bread, and they preferred to buy superior goods like meat. Okay, because meat is considered to be superior in England compared to bread. Bread is supposed to be inferior. So, though the price of the bread was declined, they didn't buy more bread. Instead, they went for buying superior good like meat in that amount of real income which was saved. Okay, so this behavior was observed by Sir Robert Giffen. So it is called as Giffen Paradox. And the goods, such goods which were not bought, which were not purchased even when the price of the goods were decreased, those goods are called as Giffen goods. Okay, see, in this example, which he observed, the bread can be called as a Giffen's good. Okay, because it is an inferior good. Inferior goods are called as Giffen goods. See, so what happened when the price of the bread declined? People didn't buy more bread. Instead, they bought more mutton or more meat in England. But here, suppose in India or in these corona days, what has happened? See, the price of the chicken has came drastically down, right? At the time of outbreak of the corona, right? In March, April, May, the price of the chicken had got drastically down. But even though the price of chicken got down, people didn't go for buying it more, right? Why? People considered it to be an inferior good for that time because of the fear of the virus, coronavirus, okay, propagation of the virus. So they had the fear in their mind, and instead of buying more chicken, though the price of the chicken had got drastically down, they preferred buying superior goods. Which superior goods? They thought of buying more groceries in their home. Okay, so this can be again a paradox. The another example of this real income we can think, see, if you have taken 20 rupees in your hand and you have gone to a bakery and you purchase the same bread at rupees 20, and now suddenly one sudden day you came to know that the price of the bread has declined to rupees 15. Then what you will think? Your real income has been increased by rupees 5. And what you will do? Instead of buying that bread, 2 quantities of bread, what you will do? You will buy one bread and you will buy 5 rupees jam or 5 rupees eggs, right? So to eat with the bread, you may buy 5 rupees jam or bread or butter. Okay, so what happened? Though the price of the inferior good, that of bread, was declined, you didn't buy more of the bread. Okay, this is called as Giffen's paradox because it was contradictory to the law of demand. What is meant by Giffen's good then? See, Giffen goods are cheaper varieties of inferior goods. This category covers cheaper varieties like bajra, low-priced rice, low-priced bread, cheaper vegetable like potatoes. Due to the lack of substitute, consumers consume these goods even at a higher price. See, when they feel that the price of the inferior good has decreased, what do they do? Due to the lack of substitute, the consumers consume these goods even at a higher price. Okay, see, this was propagated by Sir Robert Giffen. Okay, and those goods are named after Scottish economist Sir Robert Giffen. What is the next factor which violates the law of demand? See, we'll see more in detail about the Giffen goods. Giffen goods are the inferior goods whose demand decrease with the increase in its price. There are several inferior commodities much cheaper than the superior substitutes often consumed by the poor households as an essential commodity. Whenever the price of the Giffen goods increases, its quantity demanded also increases, because with an increase in the price and the income remaining the same, the poor people cut the consumption of superior goods and buy more quantities of Giffen goods to meet their basic needs. Okay, see, with the example of bajra bajra is ate by the poor people as a good, a food staple. Okay, if the price of the bajra increases, what do they think? They think that their income is remaining the same. Okay, so with the fear of increase in the price, they purchase more bajra. Okay, so they violate the law of demand. That's why these goods are called as Giffen goods, and this concept theory is called as Giffen's paradox, because this paradox was introduced by Sir Robert Giffen. Okay, now second factor which violates the law of demand is prestige goods. Okay, what is meant by prestige goods? See, prestige goods are goods like diamond, gold, etc. status symbol. So rich people buy more of it even when their prices are high. See, another example, the realistic example you must have seen. The actors, the Bollywood actors, purchases the properties at the location where the price is high. See, they never purchase their property at the location where the price is less. Why? It is a prestige thing. Okay. See, there are certain groups of people who measure the utility of the commodity purely by its price. As costly as it is, more it is their prestige. See, as costly product they purchase, they think that their prestige increases. Okay. See, which means when they think that higher price goods and services derive more utility than the lesser price commodities, they think that the higher price goods has more utility, and they go for buying the higher price goods. For example, goods like diamond, platinum, ruby, etc. are bought by the upper electrons of the society, that is rich class, creamy people, for whom the higher the price of the goods, the higher is the prestige value, and ultimately the higher is the utility of desirability of them. See, what do they think? See, they find the prestige only if they roam through the BMW or the costliest cars, or only if they wear the branded watches like Rolex and all. See, they go for brands. See, these are the different brands, and what they feel? See, they feel that the utility which they derive from the inferior goods is comparatively very low, and they find the utility is more only if they use the prestige goods like branded goods. See, these are the different brands shown, that the watch of Rolex, Lexus, Ralph & Lauren, Chanel, Prada, Gucci. Okay, see, if they think, the people who want to expand and they want to show off, right? So they are ready to pay any cost for purchasing these goods. So with this, the law of demand, that with the increase in the price, decrease in the demand, violates. Why? As the price increases with such goods like prestige goods like diamond, platinum, etc., people try to buy more. Okay, so this violates the law of demand. Next factor which is responsible, which is considered as the exception to the law of demand, that is speculation. Okay, what is meant by speculation? The law of demand does not hold true when people expect prices to rise still further. In this case, although the prices have risen today, consumers will demand more in anticipation of further rise in price. For example, price of oil, sugar, etc. tend to rise before Diwali. So people go on purchasing more at a time price as they anticipate that prices may rise during Diwali. The another example which we can take is of, prices of, when we anticipate that the prices of petrol will rise from today midnight. Okay, see, many times this news comes to us that prices of the petrol are going to increase at 12 o'clock at the midnight. So what everybody does, what the maximum people do, they take their vehicles to the petrol pump and they fill the tanks of their petrol pump. Why? They speculate the prices are going to hike tomorrow onwards, So why not better fill all the tanks of all the vehicles with the speculation that with the increase in the price in future they purchase more. See why? See, this is again against the law of the demand, right? With the increase in the prices of oil, sugar, people purchase more at the time of Diwali. See, which are the examples of speculations are given? See, on Monday, the person thinks that he will buy a pile of a gold. Pile means stock of a gold. He thinks that on Monday he will buy a lots of stock of a gold, and on Wednesday he will sell the gold and make a pile of money. Means he will make a profit by selling that gold. Okay, so why did he think so? Because he speculated. Okay, what is meant by speculation? Assumptions regarding the future. Okay, or some calculations, and behaving according to the calculations is called as speculation. Which calculations? Does that something will happen in future. Okay, see, what is speculation? When the consumer expects that the price of a commodity is likely to further increase in the future, then he will buy more of it despite its increased price in order to escape himself from the pinch of the much higher price in the future. On the other hand, if the consumer expects the price of the commodity to further fall in the future, then he will likely postpone his purchase despite less price of the commodity in order to avail the benefit of much lower prices in the future. See, for example, at the time of winter, what do we think? The prices of sweater or the woolen clothes will increase. So what do? On the other hand, what do? We purchase the sweaters or woolen clothes before starting of the winter. Okay, so though the prices increases, the demand also increases. Okay, next exception is price illusion. Consumers have illusion that high priced goods are of a better quality. Therefore, the demand for such goods tend to increase with a rise in their prices. For example, branded products which are expensive are demanded even at higher price. See, these are the shoes of Nike. Okay, these are the clothes of H&M. These are the purses of Zara. See, these are all the products of which has brand. And see, the people who has the habit of using the branded products only, they have an illusion in their mind. See, when the price of the branded products increases, they will tend to buy more. Okay, why? They have the price illusion, that they think that the people will get impressed only if they have only if they having using the branded products. See, even if only they can influence the people if they are wearing the branded products or the costly products. So they have the illusion that with the high priced goods, it is of better quality. Okay, they think that it is of better quality. So with the demand for such goods increase with the rise in the products. Okay, next exception is ignorance. See, what is meant by ignorance? Sometimes due to ignorance, people buy more of a commodity at higher price. This may happen when consumer is ignorant about the price of that commodity at other places. See, what is meant by ignorance? Good quality commodities are costly and expensive is a myth among consumers. What is myth? They think that. Okay. It also happens when the consumers are unable to judge the quality of the products. See, in these two cases this can happen. Okay, but what is meant by ignorance? See, if the prices of some specific commodities are lesser or cheaper in my nearby village or in my nearby city, but I am not aware of it. Okay, I am not aware that the prices has been declined or it is available at the lesser prices in my nearby cities. But with my ignorance, what I am doing, I am going on continuing with the higher prices in my city because I don't know it. I am not aware. Okay, because this happened only because of my ignorance. So due to ignorance, what happens? Though the prices are more, people tend on buying more. So though the prices are more, demand is more. Only the mere reason is that we have the ignorance that the prices are available at the products are available at the lesser prices in the another cities. Okay, see, good quality commodity and another ignorance is it also happens when the consumers are unable to judge the quality of the products. Many times what happens, consumer feels that the product with the higher quality, the higher price has higher quality, and the prices with the lower price are with the lower quality. See, for example, if you come to know that the shoes of Nike or Adidas are available at 200 rupees or 300 rupees at the roadside, what you will think? You won't believe. What you will think? If the shoes of Nike or Adidas are available at 200 on the road, then its quality must be deteriorated, right? So what you will think? You will judge the quality of the product. So what you will do? You will tend to buy the products only at the higher price. Okay. See, good quality commodities are costly and expensive. It is a myth among consumers. So what they will do with this ignorance, they may not buy when the prices are decreased. Okay, when the products are available at low price, they will tend to buy the products at the higher price only because they have mere ignorance. And the last exception is habitual goods. Okay, what is meant by habitual? The goods which we use as a habit. Okay, so due to habit of consumption, certain goods like tea is purchased in required quantities even at a higher price. See, the people or the students who has the habit of drinking tea again and again while working or while doing the studies, so despite the increase in the price of the tea, they will consume it more, they will demand the tea more. So this again violated the law of demand. As the prices of the tea were increased, the demand for tea also remained same or increased. So it didn't decrease. See, another reason can be habit of bad things. Okay, or the addictions. If the person has the addiction of cigarettes, alcohols, right? So even the prices of the addictions are increased, the person who has the habit will go for buying it even at the higher prices. Okay, so this again violates the law of demand. And what happens with the law when these exceptions violates the law of demand? See, when these exceptions violates the law of demand, the graph or the demand curve slopes upward from left to right. See, this is the basic distinction when there are the exceptions to the law of demand. See, as per the law of demand, as per Alfred Marshall, it is a downward sloping curve from left to right, right? And the prices are inversely proportional to demand, okay, quantity demanded. But here, as the prices are increasing, see, with the increase in the price, there is a increase in the demand. Okay, see, both are in the same direction, both are in the positive direction. See, with the increase in the price, quantity demanded is also increasing. So the slope, what is the tendency of the slope? The slope is moving from left to right in the upward direction. See, when we graph the points, we plot the points and join the points, locus points, we get a graph or a curve. Okay, which is, what is the tendency of the curve? It is sloping from left to right on the upward direction. Okay, if we join these points, which are the intersections of the price and quantity demanded. Okay, with the increase in the price, quantity demanded is increasing, right? So this is the which is in the upward direction. Okay, so with this we came to know that these are the reasons which we can call as exceptions, like Giffen Paradox, prestige goods, speculations, price illusion, ignorance, and habitual goods. So these are the variations due to which the law of demand doesn't stand true or it falls. Okay, or these are the reasons or these are the exceptions due to which the law of demand gets violated. Okay, now what we will learn in our next lecture. In our next lecture, we will continue law of demand with the help of variations in demand and changes in demand, which are given on page number 23 to 24. And I expect that you read the things, read the contents, the topics before attending the lecture. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe, and don't forget to study online. Take care.